Stand! Stand! Stand!
You are about to see and hear one of the most significant messages given to us from God.
What's going on, everybody? It's Evil Eddie from PureEVil MMA. After my birthday weekend, crazy night of fights last week with the World Series of Fighting, with the Bellator, and then we had UFC Ottawa with Wonderboy versus Rory the Red King. That was amazing. We're going to get into that today. We're going to get into Rory's free agency, GSP announcing on Aerial Show, the MMA Hour, that he is back. We're going to be talking about Fedor, Kimbo Slice tribute, and the UFC selling. And I also want to let you guys know something very cool that is coming every Wednesday night. Me and Ted Check are going to be doing a weekly show live on YouTube with a chat room and everything open. It's going to be me and him discussing this week's top MMA topics, just like this one. But in this case, we're going to give you guys different ideas. You guys will be able to interact with us during the show. So if you have any questions, just type them in and we'll respond. If you're new to listening and you don't know who I am, you're listening to PureEVil MMA. I'm Evil Eddie from ProWrestlingAuthority.com. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Evil_Echo. That's EVIL_ECCO. And make sure to check our podcast out on iTunes. You guys have been doing an amazing job giving us stars, giving us comments. And if you guys don't believe me, we're doing pretty good. Let's take a look into my world really quick before we get into today's show. I'll show you where you guys can find the podcast. So just go on to iTunes, type in PureEVil MMA, and you'll see this screen right here. Here's our popularity bar. I think there's about 20 little notches in there. This week's podcast is all the way up. All the way up. So very excited about that. Make sure you guys check that out. We're going to give you guys quick updates going on in the MMA that we're not going to focus on too much. Just give you a quick update to get you guys all caught up on everything going on, because you're either at work all week and you don't have time, or you're at the gym. And if you're at the gym, that's perfect for the podcast. Catch up on everything within an hour. We cover everything going on in the week every week. PureEVil MMA. I'm Evil Eddie from ProWrestlingAuthority.com. Let's get into today's show. We started off with UFC Ottawa, where I gave you guys all my predictions, and so happy I listened to Ann on this one, because Cowboy absolutely went ham. That was an amazing fight. Also, the Rory McDonald fight against Stephen Thompson was amazing as well. But the Cote fight, Cowboy, he knocked him down 3 times. It was an amazing fight. He looked better than ever, and I'm so excited to see what comes next. He looks a lot better at this weight class. Also, the Bosse fight, that was amazing. They pulled a Max Holloway where they both pointed to the center of the octagon, and in the last 10 seconds of the fight, they just went toe-to-toe. But before that, it was just as epic. These two were just standing there, throwing big bombs at the beginning of the fight. Boss got shut down quick and was able to recover. Also, Olivier Messier, there he is right there. He did an amazing job this weekend too. I never pick against him, but this week I did, and it was a huge mistake. I am so sorry about that one, guys. I missed that one. But let's get into Rory McDonald versus Stephen Thompson fight. That was absolutely amazing. Let me know what you guys think about that. I honestly was so pumped to see Wonderboy. He's been on such a roll lately, and everyone was questioning if Rory McDonald was going to be the same person he was previous to the Robbie Lawler fight. Also, he was going to be a free agent after this fight, and he went on the MMA Hour to talk about it with Aerial, and the UFC was really mad at Aerial for doing that, talking about free agency because he was paid by Zuffa or UFC, and that was like strike one against him. And I'm really interested in seeing what he's gonna do now. He's a free agent. He lost the fight, but it wasn't close, but he shook Wonderboy up. Like, Wonderboy didn't know what to do, and he even says it. There was a post-fight interview that he did with Chris Weidman, and he was asking him, he said, what was the hardest part about fighting Rory? And he responded, not knowing exactly what he was going to do. Also in that video, make sure you guys check that out. It's on YouTube. Weidman's wife said that she's the new Mrs. Wonderboy. She's the new Mrs. Thompson. Cowboy knocked down Cote 3 times. I thought that was amazing too. I just want to bring that back up. If you guys didn't catch the highlight of it, go on youtube.com, check that fight out. He looked absolutely amazing. Cowboy is now tied for 3rd place for most wins in UFC history. In first, we have Bisping, and GSP tied for first with 19. Second place, Matt Hughes with 18. Then Damian Maia and Cowboy with 17. So congratulations, Cowboy. I did not want to forget mentioning that before getting the Rory McDonald fight. Let me know what you guys thought about this. He is now going to be facing the winner of Woodley and the champ. So let me know what you guys think. Is he going to break? Is he going to choke? Because he has been doing absolutely amazing. We watched him shut down Johnny Hendricks. We've never seen that happen before. Hendricks had no idea what to do, and he was just laying it on him. So I'm so excited to see what Lawler has prepared for, 1, the Woodley fight, and 2, whoever wins that fight. I'd rather see him fight Robbie, honestly. But if Woodley wins, bless him. So let me know what you guys think on Twitter at evil_echo, and make sure you guys subscribe down below. The judges scored the Rory McDonald versus Stephen Thompson fight. One judge had it 50-45, the second judge had it 50-45, and the third judge had it 48-47. And after the first round, Thompson, he had to change his whole game plan, he said. He had to play it like a chess match. He kept on the outside. He knew he was going to shoot at some tricky stuff. We saw at the beginning of the fight, Rory McDonald was doing some Ryan Hall stuff with that heel hook, that 50-50 heel hook. And Wonderboy was just escaping it. There was no touching him. And I don't know why Rory didn't go for it even more. But after a couple times, he got shook, and Rory had to try something different. Same with Wonderboy, and they were both. It was definitely like a chess match, and you could see it. They both had so much respect for one another, and they were waiting. It almost seemed like for them to try something tricky, and really Rory was doing all the tricky stuff, but Wonderboy amazed us again. I don't know why I doubted him here. I really thought Rory was gonna, get him to the ground and submit him. And I'm sorry for giving you guys the wrong prediction on that. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about Rory McDonald now being a free agent. If he's going to be with the UFC, or if he's just saying that to maybe get more money. And other companies would definitely love to have him. Even though it is kind of stepping down, but at the same time, everything is on the rise lately. Every company is on the rise. We see this with World Series of Fighting, bringing in all these viewers. We see this with Bellator. I think they have to change a couple things, like the walkout stage. It kind of looks kind of wrestling, like WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it. But they got the superstars there. They got the good fights. They have Rampage. They have... Oh, and I'll get into that. I'm not going to blow it. I'm not going to blow the surprise yet. But... Bellator can definitely put on a good card, and I'm definitely curious what Rory's going to do here. I would like to see him stay in the UFC, but, who knows what he's going to do. Also, GSP went on Aerial Show. I brought this up at the beginning. He went on the MMA Hour. He was talking with Aerial. I got to rewatch it and get the quotes for you guys. But in a nutshell, GSP said he's coming back, and he announced on Aerial Show. And we've been seeing that a lot lately. A lot of fighters been announcing what their next step is on the MMA Hour. So congratulations, Ariel. You're definitely one of my favorite journalists out there. I watch every Monday on the MMA Hour. I watch every Thursday on the MMA Beat. I look forward to that. You, Luke Thomas, and everyone at the table. Chuck Mindenhall, I love it. And that's exactly what we're kind of aiming for with me and Ted Check. Make sure you guys subscribe to that. You'll see the countdown clock on my subscription page. PureEVil MMA live stream. It is Evil and Intoxicate Ted, because Ted Check, like intoxicate Ted. I thought that was pretty clever. So that's the name of the show. It's going to be every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. The live stream. It's actually going to be like right here. I'm trying to get this right. Like right here, you'll be able to see all your comments, and then you'll see a picture of Ted, like right here, and a picture of me down here. It's all backwards. It's like the mirror effect. Sorry about that. But yeah, GSP says he's back, and we've been fooled with this for how long? And who would you guys want to see him, if he did come back, who would you want to see him fight? I'm definitely curious what you guys think about that. Let me hear what you have to say, and I'll give you my response, because he said that he didn't want a title fight, but then again, Rory McDonald just lost. He said he didn't want to step on Rory's toes. So, that's interesting now, because Rory now lost, and what if he comes back? He said he didn't want to fight for the belt because of Rory, but could he fight Wonder Boy? Could he come back? Should he have the rematch with Hendricks? What should he do? Also, I'm definitely excited for Diaz coming back this year. I cannot wait for that. His little brother Nate making a big splash. He's more famous than ever, if you ask me. I've always been a huge fan of Nate, and he was always kind of shadowed by his brother. If you weren't a huge MMA follower, that is. We all knew that he's totally legit. We saw him in The Ultimate Fighter coming up. He what was that, season 3, season 5? So I'm definitely excited about that. Should he fight GSP? I don't know. Who knows? Let me know what you guys think. Also this week, let's get into something. Who do you guys think should fight Bisping? Everyone is calling him out. Everyone is calling him out. I think Jacare. He won 9 out of the last 10 fights. He just beat Vitor in the first round. Hendo wants the rematch. He says he'll knock him out again. But that was 99 events ago. That was at UFC 100. Chris Weidman. They also had like a Twitter war on Twitter, obviously. And they went back and forth, him and Bisping, calling Bisping a bum. Bisping was like, dude, I just knocked out the guy who took the belt from you, and you're going to call me out? Why don't you fight Rockhold and then come talk to me? I say, hey, why not? Also on that card, UFC 199, was Dominic Cruz. Who do you guys want to see Dominic Cruz fight? We have all these questions. It's wide open right now. We can talk about this on the show on Wednesday with Ted Check. We'll bring it back up. Also, Fedor with the controversial win. Let me know if you guys watched this fight. I didn't get a chance to watch it live. I was at World Series of Fighting 31, and that was an absolutely amazing event. Make sure you check that out. I did interviews with Ray Sefo, the president of World Series of Fighting. I'll get into that later. Let me know what you guys thought about this fight. Fedor versus Maldonado. It was absolutely crazy in the first round. I saw the replays. He was almost finished a few times in the first round. One judge scored it 10-8 and had the fight at a draw, but the two others had it 2-1 for Fedor. Let me know what you guys think. Once again, I didn't watch it, so I'm not going to get in your heads about it and give you my opinion on it, because that wouldn't be right. Chad Mendes was also busted last week for a PED test. He went to Twitter and he said, I didn't do my homework, and that was a big mistake. I own it, and I'm going to pay for it. So he kind of mans up to it. I didn't see what it was that he failed for. Who knows? It could be contaminated kangaroo meat, or who knows? We'll get into that in the next episode or on the podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe on iTunes. Also, Chad Mendes also lost to Frankie Edgar. And Frankie was also tested, and there was a huge scare on social media. Frankie's coach went on Twitter and he said that Frankie failed, but he didn't say for what. You can check out the interview with his coach on Cage Side Submissions. That's also on iTunes. We do that show every Sunday, Steve and Rachel Blaze. But Rachel has been sick with lupus lately, so she hasn't really been around. I've been filling in. He's been having other people fill in every Sunday night. The live chat room. He had an interview there. He gets into that, so definitely go check that out. Also, guys, it's coming. It is coming. You know what I'm talking about. Fight week is coming. Look at the schedule here. July 5th through July 10th in Las Vegas. This is going to be absolutely nuts. There's a schedule right there. It's going to be absolutely crazy. RDA versus Eddie Alvarez. Thursday, July 7th at 10 p.m. Roy Nelson versus Derek Lewis is on that card. Alan Jaban versus Belal Muhammad, who's 9-0. Jaban is 13-4. I also just did a podcast with him on Cage Side Submissions, where I was lucky enough to get an interview with him. He talks about his fight with Muhammad coming up. Go check that out on Cage Side Submissions on iTunes. Following day, Friday, July 8th, it's going to be the Tough 23 finale at 10 p.m. as well. Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Claudia Gadelha. This is going to be one heck of a rematch. Also on that card, Gray Maynard versus Fernando Bruno, who's 16-3. Gray Maynard, 12-6. Ross Pearson is going to be fighting Ill Will Brooks. That's what I wanted to tell you guys before. Ill Will Brooks has signed with the UFC, and he's going to be fighting at the Tough 23 finale, 10 p.m. Make sure you guys check that out. It's going to be amazing. Ross Pearson is 21-10. Ill Will Brooks 17-1. This is so exciting. Let me know what you guys think about this. And that's another thing. Maybe I should start getting the live tweets in on this show, but I will save that for Wednesday. Also on that card, it's going to be Jake Matthews versus Kevin Lee. So we're going to get into all the predictions for that, so definitely check it out. Come back, subscribe. July 9th on pay-per-view, it's going to be UFC 200, and I cannot wait for this. I know you guys cannot wait for this. It's going to be Gegard Mousasi versus Diego Santos, Diego Sanchez, Joe Lozon, Sage Northcutt versus Enrique Marin, Kat Zingano versus Juliana Pena, Hendricks versus Gaslam, TJ Dillashaw versus Sunsao, Aldo versus Edgar, Misha Tate versus Nunes, Lesnar versus Hunt, and DC versus John Bones Jones. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to be getting into that very soon. The next episode, we're going to be covering it with full fight predictions, International Fight Week. Show your support. And also, I have a little challenge for everyone. I talked to General Yusuf about this, and he gave me a pretty good suggestion on this. Make sure you guys subscribe on Podbean. If you guys do not have an Apple, it's okay. Podbean.com, we got you. Check it out. Evil Army Challenge. Here it is, guys. Take a pic or send me a pic of you doing an evil face, any evil face, or your favorite horror face, or your favorite horror villain, your favorite horror picture. Evil Army Challenge. Take a picture, send it to me on Twitter, on Facebook. We usually go through Twitter. Tag me, PureEVil Army. Hashtag PureEVil Army. Or just tag me at evil_echo. I mentioned that at the beginning of the show. Show your support. We had a rough week, and I'm not going to get too much into this, but it kind of reminded me of my first karate class when I was a little boy. It was my first day, and I walked into a karate class. I didn't know anybody in the class. I was trying to make friends with the people next to me, and the whole time, got a half hour through it, I was doing fine. I was excited. I was the new kid, though. Everyone was kind of watching me. I was really young, and they asked everyone to do a split, and I have never done a split in that time. I did a split, and everyone started laughing at me. I started freaking out, flipped out on everyone, stormed out of the building, and ran through the streets of New Haven, and I was just pissed. I was dropped off there. I disappeared. I was pissed. I was embarrassed, and I had something happen to me this weekend, and I've been having so many good comments from everybody. You guys have been showing amazing support, but also in the entertainment world, and especially in MMA, there can be some jerks out there. And there's a difference between being sarcastic and just being a jerk and beating somebody's dreams down. I was lucky enough to get press credentials for World Series of Fighting 31 this weekend at Foxwoods, and I was there with Bloody Elbow, Meg MMA, all MMA media. I was cage side. I shared my pictures and everything, but I was lucky enough to do interviews. I did one with Ray Sefo. I was kind of nervous. He talks about Kimbo. He talks about the fights that were coming up the next day. And then I did another interview with Jason High. And it was my first interview with like a big star right after the fights. I realized I was backstage. Once the camera was rolling, my head kind of went crazy. And you guys who follow the show know I do interviews all the time, and they're always pretty good. And it was just like starstruck. And if you've never been starstruck before, you're not normal. And somebody left a comment on my Twitter saying, why would I post that I should leave it to the professionals? And I was like, what the hell? And lucky enough, I got thick skin, but it reminded me of going in my first karate class and doing a split, and everyone started laughing. And I'll never forget that moment. And I grew from that, and I'm older now, and I've learned a lot, and I realize that shit's out there, that there are people out there that will criticize you for doing what you're doing. But I'll tell you what, I'm chasing my dreams. I'm happy. I'm doing what I love to do. I had a rough past couple of years losing my girlfriend, falling into things I'm not really comfortable about talking about, but I think I did an amazing job, and most importantly, I had fun. So that's what matters. That's what I'm going to remember, these memories. I'm making memories. Judge it all you want, but I'll remember that for the rest of my life. I had a great time. Go check the interviews out on my YouTube page. I thought they were great. I did an interview with Justin Wren. He's doing Fight for the Forgotten. He was just on Joe Rogan Experience. He was just on Fighter and the Kid. He was on the same season Ultimate Fighter that Bren Schaub was on, that Kimbo was on, and Roy Nelson was on. He talks about going over to Africa, and he says there's like 27 million slaves that are still out there, and that's very sad. He goes over there and he gets fresh water wells. He's making water for the communities so they can have all the tools to survive, and without people coming over Western civilization into their area, they now have the tools they need. Check out the interview. It was an amazing opportunity. He got a message out there. He says he's got plenty of fighters behind him. Joe Rogan has already done 2 wells out there. There's a big movement. # Fight for the Forgotten. Check it out. Huge message. I also did an interview with Josh Copeland talking about his fight that night. He lost in a decision, but it was like a flip of a coin. It really was. Eddie from Bloody Elbow was the one who said that line. It really was that close. You can check out that interview. And I had a great weekend, so thank you so much for everybody at World Series of Fighting, Afro Mike, the public relations guy, PR, Ray Sefo, the president, thank you for being so nice. Let's get back into PureEVil MMA news. So, fight week for UFC 200, I showed you guys the schedule. Let me know what fight you guys are most excited for. Make sure you guys check out the show on Wednesday. We will be getting into this. We will be getting into the card. We will be getting into whatever you guys want. GSP. We'll talk about the Fedor fights. We'll cover UFC Ottawa. Check Ted's page out too. He has some amazing videos in there. He was just talking about this fight right here where they went toe to toe. Also, guys, the UFC has been sold for $4.2 billion. It has not yet been confirmed by the UFC. Or maybe it has. I got to recheck the news. But as of this morning, it was released, but not by the UFC. I forgot who, and I know that's not professional of me. I will check that out. I will leave it down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for listening to PureEVil MMA. Leave your comments down below. I had a great night with you. Subscribe to the podcast. Check out Cage Side Submissions. Let me know if I forgot anything. I'm looking around right here. Make sure you guys let me know who you think Bisping should fight. Let me know about the Fedor fight, whether you thought that was right. Who Dominic Cruz should fight. Let me know what fight you guys are most excited about. We'll get into this and more on Wednesday at 10 p.m. with Ted Check. It's a whole new movement. Jump on board. Thank you guys for watching PureEVil MMA. Find me on Twitter at evil_echo. I am happy to answer anyone's questions. Thank you so much. You're listening to PureEVil MMA. I'm Evil Eddie from ProWrestlingAuthority.com. Have a great night, guys.
To see and hear one of the most significant messages given to us from God.